Hi everybody, welcome to doTERRA Yoga. I'm super happy that you're here today. Today's class is going to begin our journey into September. And September is my favorite season. It's my favorite month. I just love the transition from the heat to the fall. And where I live in Colorado, it's just magical. So besides the beauty of fall, and many of us love the smells and everything that goes with fall, it's also a great time as we head into the final quarter, typically a busy time of year for many people and an emotional time of year. It is really important to get rooted in our foundation. So the entire month of September, I'm going to be guiding you through the process of figuring out what makes up the foundation of your spirit. And when we think of a foundation of a structure, a building, we know that the depth of it is what sustains everything else. And so when we look at the foundation of our spirit, what I mean by that is, how do we show up in the world? What are some cornerstone, really important aspects to who we are and how we make decisions and how we communicate with others, how we think, how we speak? And so I want to talk a little about that depth of who we are, because that's what sustains us through those times of trying times, of turmoil, of changes, of things going on in our life. We have to know what is our foundation. So we're going to explore that for the entire month of September. And we're going to spend some time in the lower part of our body, really getting connected and finding ourselves with that sort of depth. So go ahead and get comfortable in your chair. You don't need anything today. You just need your body, and today's practice will be foundational in the sense that we're going to return to some of the basic root postures of a simple practice. And we're going to get deep into our breath and really discover how the breath should be a foundation to how we respond in everyday situation in our life, knowing that we have a moment, a space between our breath, a space between our thoughts, a space between a trigger and a reaction, that gets us rooted in who we are. So I want you to start by sitting tall. Notice that my knees and my hips are in alignment today. A lot of times we have our knees open, but today, for right now, we're going to keep this tight little capsule of our body. And I want you to have your spine tall, so I'm definitely not leaning back on my chair today. My cheeks are really close to the edge of my chair, and that gives me some space to round my spine, but it also forces me to really work my abdominal muscles to maintain posture. And posture is so important for us as we navigate the world, making sure that we're standing upright. But on an energy level, when we have good posture, we are telling the world, I'm confident, I'm secure, I'm strong in who I am, and we're giving our lungs a chance to breathe. So super important to be thinking about that posture. Just go ahead and rest your hands right on top of your thighs, palm face down. So we're going to be going in that downward sense today to start to root into the foundation of our physical body, as well as what are some of the foundational aspects to who we are. So go ahead, sit tall, and then drop your chin slightly towards your chest. This allows your eyes to drift down towards the floor or closed. And when you take your next breath in, I want you to fill up your lungs as full as you possibly can. Like, get the air all the way up to where it almost goes into the throat area. And when you breathe out, I want you to picture pushing that breath down your lungs, through your belly, into your legs, into your feet, and into the soil. And then you breathe in again, filling up all of your lungs, all the way to the very top of the throat. And when you breathe out, reverse that and push the air through the lungs, through the belly, through the legs, through the feet, into the soil. Try that again. Breathe in. And breathe out. Push the air all the way down through your belly, through your legs, through your feet. Try that again. See if you can slow down the breath, and you'll do 3 more. Breathing in, filling up, filling up, filling up. And then emptying the breath all the way down. Let it go all the way down to the soles of your feet. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. With your eyes closed or just gazing down, I want you to think about that image in your mind of a foundation of a home. Feel the depth of that, deep into the ground, solid. The most solid part of a home is the foundation, deep inside the earth, 10, 15, sometimes 20 feet at its depth. Now that you have the picture of that foundation, the roots of a tree. Just with your mind, watch as the roots grow deeper and deeper into that wet earth. And what we know about roots is that they not only nourish the tree, but they allow the tree to sustain the storms above the ground. Without a solid root system, the tree topples. And so when we think about this same concept with ourselves, what is it about you that is rooted and solid and part of your foundation? Some examples might be compassion, being of service, faith, hope, productivity, family. Just start to let those words come into your awareness. What is it that makes up the foundation of who you are? Then start to bring your eyes up just a little bit. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Today's practice will be slow. We want to pull that energy of the earth, get settled in, and then switch. Just notice after 5 minutes of awareness of breath and stillness, switch sides again, the mind becomes a little calmer. Might even feel a little sleepy or sluggish. That's because we breathed into the earth to feel that gravity pull of connection. One more time to the left. And then you'll come back up to center. And then I'm going to walk my feet out just a little bit. Just a little bit. My toes are turning out towards the corners of my space. And I'm going to rest my forearms onto my thighs. And so we're going to come to that breathing exercise throughout the practice. But I want you to think about the heart here pushing towards me. So I'm going to dig my elbows into my thighs and I'm going to lift my nose. So I'm really accentuating my chest going to you. And then watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to straighten my arms and puff up my back and tuck my chin. And then I'm going to breathe in and pull my heart forward, my belly drops down. And then I straighten my arms, arch my spine, look at my belly. We're going to add that breath. So you're going to breathe in as much as you can, lift your nose, keep breathing. When you breathe out, push all of the air out as you round your spine and breathe down into your legs. Try that again. Bend your elbows, drag your heart forward, lift your nose, breathe. Straighten your arms, pull the belly in, breathe out. Try that one more time. Drag the belly, drag the heart, lift the nose, breathing in. And now round, round, round the spine. And tuck your chin. Perfect, just come back to that neutral spine. And I want you to wiggle your toes, maybe alternate your feet a little bit. So we let them lift up and then we sink them back into the earth. And now watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn to the right and I'm gonna let my left shoulder drop as I turn past my right shoulder. Then I'll come back to center. I'm gonna drop my right shoulder, twist my head to the left. Breathe in, come back to center. Breathe out and twist. Breathe in, back to center. Breathe out, twist, left. Come back to center. Here's what we're gonna do. I want you to take your right palm and reach it towards your left foot. It may not touch. Now turn to the back, look to the left. Come back to center, right arm comes back. Left palm, right foot, turn to the right. Come back to center, one more time each side. Right hand, left foot, turn left. Back to center, left palm, right foot, turn right. Come back to center, beautiful. Now take both palms, reach them towards the floor. Yeah, we're gonna stay here. Go ahead and tuck your chin. Take a full breath in and breathe down into your legs. Breathe out. Breathe in, fill up your body. Breathe down into your legs, breathe out. One more, breathe in and breathe out. Walk your hands back to your thighs and push yourself up tall. Okay, so sometimes we can get a little bit dizzy when our head goes down below our heart, but it's very, very calming. So we have moved the spine in those directions that we talk about so much. And we're gonna take some side bends just to finish up our spine warm up. And then we're gonna go back to the foundation, a simple practice. Go ahead and let your left arm just sort of push down onto your left thigh. But notice that I'm not collapsing, I'm not being lazy here, I'm really have some space here. My right arm will go up and then I'll reach up and over. So you get a really big side bend here, big stretch. And then the right arm comes down and the left arm goes up. Beautiful. And then come back to center. So nice. So here's where you get to choose. If you're more comfortable in the hips with your feet wide like mine, stay here. If you prefer to have your legs walking in a little bit tighter, that tight sealed up capsule, then go ahead and come here. It's totally a preference. I prefer to have my legs just a little bit wider, but it's totally up to you. So we're going to begin in a traditional sun salutation. A sun salutation is a series of movements that are done traditionally in a practice facing the east to greet the day. We don't need to get complicated about that, but we're going to come into this building this relationship between our breath and our body. And what that does is that it connects us and grounds us. I'm going to guide you through the postures, then guide you through the breath. And we're going to kind of layer it up a little bit and continue to grow it. But this is the foundation of a practice known as asana, which asana is the physical movements. And then when we link asana with breath or prana, it becomes something called vinyasa. And vinyasa is movement with breath. First time through, we're just going to focus on the postures. Then I will layer in the breath, and then we'll continue to build this sequence. Bring your arms up high, and this one we know is mountain pose and represents our ability to be strong and to withstand anything. Let's just take a side bend here in our mountain as we continue to warm up the body. And then you'll come back to center, and you'll lean to the other side. Perfect. Come back to mountain. And then go ahead and lay your belly over your thighs and touch the floor. Once you touch the floor, push up halfway. Take a breath in, look at me, and then fold, fold, and fold. When you come up, you're gonna come slow, like just a flower in the spring coming up to greet the sun. When you get to the top, lower your shoulders. Let's try that again. We're gonna find mountain pose. We're gonna lean our mountain to one side. We're gonna reach back up towards the sky, lean to the other side, reach back up, belly goes forward, arms sweep down, we touch. Then we come up halfway, look at me, and then fold, fold, and fold. And then rebuild the spine, come up slow, the head is last. When you get to the very top, let your shoulders fall. So that is what we call a half sun salutation. So we're gonna add the breath now. Breathe when you need to breathe, but just know when we start to lean in breath, it becomes this beautiful relationship. And then we're gonna tie in that idea of foundation. So breathe in to mountain pose. Breathe out and reach. Breathe into mountain. Breathe out and reach. Breathe into mountain. Breathe out, touch the floor. Breathe in, rise up, look at me. Breathe out, touch the floor. Breathe in, come up slow as you can. Breathe out, lower your shoulders. Let's try it again. Breathe in, mountain. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, mountain. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in. Exhale and fold, touch the floor. Breathe in and look at me. Breathe out and fold. Breathe in, come up slow as you can. Breathe out, lower your shoulders and pause. We start to find this calmness in the body and in the mind when we put our attention on something. And right now our attention is on breathing and moving in sync. So we're going to think about that foundation again. And most buildings have 4 main walls, yeah? And so that becomes the foundation. And I want you to either, if that resonates with you, to think of a foundation of a building and the depths of a foundation, you can stay with that imagery. If roots of a tree seem to be more what you're attuned to listening to, then I want you to choose 4 main roots that go into your tree trunk, into the earth. But I want you to think of just one of those 4 walls or 4 roots. I want you to identify one thing that is really important to who you are, to how you show up in the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be a career. It has to be who you are within that career. Are you compassionate? Are you hardworking? Are you detailed? Are you fun? Are you hopeful? Do you have a lot of faith in your life? Is that really important to you? And that becomes something that you hold on to as we move through the practice. So I want you to identify one of your 4 roots or 4 walls of your foundation, of your spirit. And this tells you that it's really important to you and that you will know when you're not practicing this foundational value because you feel it here and you feel like your life might not be in alignment with what you want it to be. And that's usually a sign that we're off our path or that we're not living in those 4 foundational values. So I want you to think about that. For me, I'm going to say that one of my really important values is compassion. I have to have a sense of oneness with others, compassion for others in everything that I do. Even walking through a park, I want to be compassionate to those that might have less than me or who might not be able to walk as easily as me. I want to be compassionate in the world. So that's a huge part of who I am. So we're going to move through that again. And I want you to bring in that value, bring in that foundational aspect of who you are. So we're going to reach up and breathe in. Beautiful. And now breathe out that value. Just think about that value, compassion. And breathe in and breathe out that value. Maybe it's kindness. Breathe in And now lean forward and touch the floor. Breathe in and take a halfway lift. Breathe out, touch the floor. Breathe in and come up slow. Breathe out, lower your shoulders. We're going to do it 2 more times. Breathe in. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in. Now touch the floor and breathe out. Look at me, breathe in. Touch the floor, breathe out. Come up slow, breathe in. Lower your shoulders, breathe out. 1 more time, breathe in that mountain pose. Breathe out, take a side bend. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, lean forward, touch the floor. Come up halfway, breathe in and breathe out. Come up slow as you can. When you get to the top, lower your shoulders, that half sun salutation. This is a sequence of postures that can be done every day as you come into the morning and you greet the day and you say, okay, today I'm going to be full of light today. I'm going to be full of hope. I'm going to be happy today. And so you go through those postures and it kind of integrates your intention for the day. So take your left leg and you're going to straighten it towards me. I have my toes up towards the ceiling, so my foot is flexed. And I'm going to keep my heel into the ground because I want to maintain that sense of feeling rooted. My hands are going to stay on my thighs. That tactile connection to my body helps to ground me. So I'm going to sit tall first, then lean forward. Keep coming towards me. Lean forward. You're immediately going to feel a stretch behind the back of the leg. That's normal. Now take a breath in. Lean forward a little bit more and aim your nose towards your knee. It's not going to touch, just aim it there. Take a big breath in. And now aim your nose towards your toes. See if you can get a little deeper. Beautiful. Take a full breath in. Go back to nose to knee. And slowly come up. So nice. Let's try the other leg. So bring your left leg in. Right leg goes straight, toes are up. So I'm pushing my heel into the floor like I'm pushing it into wet sand on the beach. My hands stay on my thighs to help root me down into my lower body. Take a breath in, lean forward and just start to feel that sensation. Take another breath in, put your nose towards your knee. Take a breath in. Nose towards your toes. Take a breath in. Nose towards your knee and stay. And now slowly come up. Slide your right foot back in. So if you're in a wheelchair, this is a little bit more difficult to do, but make sure that your cheeks are on the very edge of your chair. And if you're in a chair like mine that has no arms, this is pretty easy. If you have arms on your chair, like a dining room chair, it can be a little bit tricky. So just do your best and make the modifications that work in your experience. So I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to loop it over my chair. And then I'm going to take my right leg and it's going to go straight towards me. So my left leg is open like a gate. So here's the gate closed, here's the gate open. Take my left arm and I'm going to slide it down to the inner thigh of my left leg. And I'm actually pushing a little bit, swinging that gate open. So I want that gate to be open. My elbow, my shoulder, my wrists are all open. And my right arm is going to reach far out. And so I feel this dynamic stretch in opposite directions. Now take your right thumb and bring it up towards the ceiling. Flip your palm and now reach over your head. So we have this parts of this posture where we set it up for the best depth. Come back up with your right arm and let it float down to the side and return to start. Let's try that on the other side. Left comes forward. I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to loop it over my chair. So now I have this gate. See, my gate's closed and now my gate's open. My right arm is going to push that gate open and make it stay. My left arm is going to reach far away and I feel this huge stretch through my arm and my chest. My thumb goes up when it gets high. I flip my palm towards my head and reach up and over. This is called gate pose. Really opening up the hips here. Come back to center, lower the arm all the way down. Right leg comes back to start. Let's go back to the left leg. I'm gonna loop it over again, but my right leg this time is gonna straighten in the front part of my chair. So my seat of my chair is kind of supporting my hamstring area, which is the back of the thigh. So I have a lot of space open through my hips. I still have that gait of my left leg, but my right leg now is long like a laser. I'm going to take my right arm out again. And instead of keeping my hand on my gate, I'm going to lift it. So this is called Warrior Two. And now your hands turn down. And I want you to gaze over at your left hand. And so really feel the openness through the belly and the hips. And now push into your feet a lot. Really dig into your feet. And take a full breath in. Remember the posture of your heart lifting on the breath in. And when you breathe out, push into your feet. Let the air go all the way down into those roots. Breathe in. Push down the breath. One more. Big breath in. Push down, down, and down. Now flip your left palm. Right hand is going to find that long right leg. And the left arm goes up to the sky. We really feel a nice stretch through the left side body. Keep your gate open. And now reach even more back. Beautiful. Come back to center and lower your left arm. We're going to take Warrior Two to the other side. So I like to come back to center, reset my butt bone to my chair before I just make a quick transition. I think especially when we're talking about foundational practice, we want to move slow and deliberate and really get ourselves connected in the posture. So my right leg is going to loop over that seat of the chair. There's the seat of the chair. I know it's hard when I have black clothes and black chair. And my left leg is going to straighten. So my left toes are actually pointing towards you and my right toes are pointing towards that wall. So here's that space again. Here's my gate that's open. My left arm is going to reach to the back. So I'm setting up for Warrior Two. Now lift your right arm, but keep your gate open. Turn and look over your right hand. Feel that. Try to reach the edges of the room. And now take a breath in and breathe down into your legs. Push into your feet. Don't just let them rest on the surface of the floor. Really push. Take a breath in and now push your feet into the floor. You're going to activate some muscles here. One more breath. Push down. Right hand flips. Left arm finds the leg as the right arm goes up to the sky, and you might even look up there. It's called Reverse Warrior. Keep breathing down into your legs. Beautiful. Come back just as you came in, step by step. Lower your arms. Turn back to the front. Bring both legs in. So you can see we have postures that work the lower part of our body. We start to feel calm versus some of our practices that are very animated through the upper body. We're bringing energy in. Kind of focus on being slow and kind of mimicking nature, if you will. The growing season is coming to an end and we're starting to go back into ourselves, back into a slower pace of life, which is lovely for some of us. So go ahead and put your legs in alignment with your hips, and we're going to lean forward. Keep coming, just lay your belly on top of your thighs. When you get there, go ahead and reach for your ankles. Reach for your toes. Tuck your chin into a tiny little ball. And then slowly begin to come up. Here's where we get to lean back. Okay, so we're going to lean back against the back of our chair, but I'm not going to get super lazy in my belly. I'm still going to have some activity here. I'm going to bring my right leg up. So I'm going to either hook it behind or I'm going to interlace over. Either way, I'm starting to squeeze the leg in towards the chest. So you might be here, and that's fine. But once you get it as high as it can go, start to rotate your ankle. So we work a lot of the feet and the legs in a lower series. So it's important to make sure we have good circulation. Now take your leg and begin to straighten it. It may not go very straight, that's okay. And you'll bend it. Try that again. So I can feel some tightness here through my hamstring and into my glute. I spend a lot of time on my bicycle, and so I can get a little bit tight through the backs of the legs. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Take your right leg and cross it over your left. So we're going to keep our legs crossed, but slip your hands apart and now sit tall. So my legs are crossed. If this doesn't work in your body, cross at the ankle. And again, the belly's going to come forward. And I'm going to get a stretch through that sciatic area of my sacrum, my sacroiliac joint where I have a lot of sciatic pain. And then tuck your chin. Slowly come up. We're going to take that to the other side. So uncross. Lean back. Pull the left leg into the chest. It may be that you're squeezing tight. You may be partially squeezing. Go ahead and rotate your ankle. Just start to feel that circulation. Let's go to the straight legs. Go ahead and straighten the leg and bend it. This leg feels less tight, and that's very common. So don't worry too much if one side can get more straight than the other. It's just the way that our bodies work. When we're active or walking, we tend to lean on one side. You have 1 more. Now cross that leg. Unslip your hands, sit tall. Belly goes forward. And we fold, tuck the chin. And then slowly come on. Go ahead and uncross your legs. We're going to root down into our legs again. We're going to play just a little bit more activity in the lower part of our legs. So palms face down. I want you to push really hard into your left leg, so much that you might even feel the muscles on your backside kind of tighten and squeeze, and then switch. Push really hard into the right foot. You want to slide back in your chair, but don't slide back, just push. Push into your left leg, and your right leg, and your left leg, and your right leg. 2 more. Left, right. Really push. We're really trying to get our soles of our shoes or our feet into the floor and underneath that. 1 more. Perfect. And now both feet push down to the floor. And sometimes this can make our belly start to tighten. Take your arms out to a T shape. Keep pushing into your feet. So we're really active through the legs here. The arms are long. And now bring your elbows to a bench shape. Lift your heart. Keep pushing into your feet. It's a tiny back bend. Straighten your spine. Reach up. Keep pushing into your feet. Grab your wrist and pull up and over. Ooh, feels so nice. Come back to center. Grab your right arm. Pull up and over. Come back to center. Bring your hands down. Palms down. Push into your thighs. Roll your shoulders. Tuck your chin. And just gaze down at the floor or close your eyes. And in this transitional season, we go from summer to fall. Sometimes these changes can unsettle us. We have warm days, cold nights, cold days, and then we get warm again, and we seem to have a little bit of instability, and yet the beauty around us, so amazing. A time where we pay attention to trees because they put on such a magic show for us. Trees represent such a beautiful gift of being grounded and rooted. We know that when we walk through a forest or a path surrounded by trees, we immediately feel calmer. The research shows being amongst trees not only calms our mind, but it actually calms down blood pressure, some of those anxious thoughts. So spending time outdoors among the trees helps us to go back into our own foundation of who we are, back into our own roots. So I want you to, again, identify yourself as that tree or that beautiful structure. When you look at that object that represents you, roots, those 4 main roots that keep you stable when life is crazy above, the 4 walls that support the rest of your structure. Can you identify something that's really important to who you are? In the coming days, for the rest of this week, pay attention to that value and that quality. Make sure that you spend time thinking about and honoring that really important part of who you are, that value makes up part of your foundation. Spend as much time as you can outdoors, getting fresh air, looking at trees, and just noticing that there's no resistance to nature as it moves through this beautiful seasonal change. I love to always remember that the trees are not talking amongst each other saying, oh, how they wish it was still June. The leaves were plump and shiny. They're willing to go through the process to change and to let go. So that's what we're going to learn in the coming months. Thank you so much for showing up and for being part of my life. I'm super grateful for you, and I hope you have a beautiful, slow foundational practice, and I will see you soon. Have a beautiful week.